6, 7, 8. Talia. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Basic and flare. And 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Out and in.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, Delicon no tap. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Out and in.
5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
If I were dancing with a partner and the circle were here and the center were the camera, the way this is done is that instead of 8 beats of mambo, we have 6 beats of mambo. So we do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's the enchufla, and I'm leading. And then 6 beats of mambo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And instead of mambo on 7 and 8, I jump on 7 and 8, and then I do my dame. Move to my partner, cross body lead. Out and together, forward and together. Enchufla con mambo saltos. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Out and in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Enchufla mambo saltos. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move to my partner, cross body lead. So I want to point out in the move Reloj, that's spelled R-E-L-O-J, if there was a center of the circle, let's say here, when you do the move, there are different ways to get into a position so that couples create lines that are like blades of a fan, straight lines that walk around the center of the circle. The key to doing this is that the blades have to do 2 things. The couple, if Ann and I were partners, then let's say I would be on the center, in the inside of the circle, and we would be walking together like this. What is essential is that there is a straight line between the center of the circle, which would be the center of this chair, to the center of my body as the leader and the center of my follower's body. This needs to be a straight line. That is not always easy to see, even when people are still, let alone when they're moving. For example, stay where you are. If I were like this and we were moving quickly, this might feel like a straight line, but it's not straight with the center because we're making a little bit of an angle here. So everybody has to really watch, and the outer person, which in this case is my follower, has to move with bigger steps than the inner person. There are different ways to get into the Reloj position. And so I'm not going to do that portion because you can position yourself with the leader on the inside, with the follower on the inside, it doesn't matter. But this principle of walking like a fan, like blades of a fan, is what's static. So we're going to try and do it. We're going to watch that this line is straight. 5, 6, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I think we did that pretty well. Now, the other thing that you have to watch simultaneously is that if we are making this line, couples. If we're located here, another couple must be located exactly here, because to have 4 even angles, you can scoot back, to have 4 angles that are identical, they all have to be 90 degrees. If there are 5 couples, you take 360 degrees, which is the angle, the degrees around a circle, and divide by 5. And the angle between each line created by each couple has to be 360 divided by 5. If there are 6 couples, the angle has to be 360 divided by 6. So everybody has to eyeball that they're staying the same distance between the couples in front and in back of them. If every couple does that, all the couples will be evenly spaced. Okay. I think that was one. Abrazala. Here we go. This is 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, and by 7, I'm more or less even with my partner. And then what I'm going to do is a symbolic hug on 3. 1, 2, and I'm tapping her back. 3, and 5, 6, 7. And then it's just an enchufla into a delicado. 5, 6, 7. So now let me show you from the other point of view. Okay, now my center is past this window. And we're facing each other. 5, 6, and here we go. Abrazala. It's 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Out and in. Now I'm going to show Vacilanse los dos. This is a simple vacila. The follower doesn't do anything different. The leader can turn once or twice to the right or left. Because during the turns, the leader and follower are disconnected, either one works fine. 5, 6, 7, 8. Vacilanse los dos. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Out and in. Did you notice the way I turn? The momentum from moving the follower is this. That moves the leader to the left. And so when I'm given the option of turning to the right or to the left, since my momentum would take me this way, I'm turning to the left. 5, 6, 7, 8. Vacilanse los dos. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. Out and in. Setenta y dos con giros. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Out and in. Now our center is outside of this window. 5, 6, 7, 8. Setenta y dos con giros. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Out and in. When someone does segmentation, that's what I call it, you get into formations where the leader has the follower's arms and extends them, sort of making a T, so that the trunk of the body and the arms create a T formation. For example, if I were leading sombrero, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, and on 3, I would do a nice arc, bring the arms out and make like points here. 3, 5, 6, 7, finish the move. So I'm going to do sombrero 2 different ways, once with segmentation and once without. 5, 6, 7, 8. Sombrero with segmentation. In and then tap. 1, 2. This is 3, 5, 6, 7. The arm comes out and cross body lead. Sombrero without segmentation. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Arm comes out and cross body lead, out and in. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7 is 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Out and in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Setenta with a roll on 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. So this is straight jacket from a basso complicado. 5, 6, 7, 8. Basso complicado with straight jacket. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, this is 3, 5, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, freeze. Now, we're both facing the center. This ending is referred to as complicate, but it can be done in a standard manner or with this straight jacket ending. So I'm going to explain the straight jacket ending while we do it. We start complicate always. Leader steps forward on the left, follower back on the right. 1, 2, 3. Now on 5, 6, 7, the follower will come around and do a cross-body lead, just as though we weren't holding her in this unusual position. 5, 6, 7, tap. Now I'm going to lead with my right and have her turn around. 1, 2, 3, and then I go 5, 6, and on 7, I put my right hand behind her head. I walk through 1, 2, 3. This is why it's called straight jacket. This goes quickly. It's not that uncomfortable when you get used to it. But I come around and she turns, I say 5 touching one shoulder and 7 touching the other, and then the guy locks in crossbody lead and we're done. Some people love this move, some people hate this move. You can't see me smile, but I'm smiling. It looks like this from the tap. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 1. This is a symbolic kiss. 3 and 5, 6, 7. Two-handed in chufla, the guy turns around. Now, this is where complicate starts. The guy rocks in and cross-body lead tap. Now we're going to go back to back. I'm going to be leading this with my right hand on the leader. And I'm going to turn to my left. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6. On 7, I put my hand behind her head. And then I go 1, 2, 3, and I turn her with 5, touching my shoulder, and 7 touching my other shoulder. I let go, and I rock in, and cross-body lead. The feeling of a straitjacket move, the lady is very constricted, but just for like about a half a second, really, to typical salsa tempo music. Some people don't like the feeling of that. Some people think it's kind of cool. It's sharp looking. Let's do it up to speed. 5, 6, 7, 8. Basso complicado. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 5, and 7. 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Dilicando tap. Back to back. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5, and 7. And the guy rocks in and cross body lead. Out and in. 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Out and in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Dame. 5, 6, 7. Dame dos. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Out and in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Dame. 3, 5, 6, 7. Dame dos. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Out and in. What I'm illustrating here is that there are actually many moves where we hook, and at some beat, whether it's the very next one or a subsequent beat, we unhook. And the unhook needs to be complete. Because if you're hooked and you don't fully unhook, bringing that all the way down, then you will have the elbow up and out still, even if you're not hooked on your partner. And at that point, any move, if you're blending it with other movements, you can hit someone with the elbow and hurt them. So it's a sort of a safety thing. Whenever you unhook from a hook, bring that all the way down, unhook completely. So watch how this is done. So I'm using it as an example for a hook and unhook, the beginning of an advanced move called Lipton, which starts with the first 12 beats of Setenta. We'll do it nice and slow. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lipton. In and then tap. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. That's the first 12 beats. 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to slightly go back. 1, 2. I hook. And can you see that I'm hooked? Now I'm going to unhook. See that I brought it all the way down. I'm not doing this to unhook, because then I'm at risk of hitting the follower. No matter what move you're doing, if your unhook is not complete, you can easily hit someone with your elbow. So hook, unhook, and see I'm back to kind of normal here, and unroll. And I'm never going to hit anybody with that arm I hooked. Watch it to speed. 5, 6, 7, 8. Lipton. In and then it's 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, hook, unhook, unroll. And then it's two-handed and shufla, and etc. Okay. Cuban salsa or Rueda moves can be used in one-on-one partnership dancing. So when we do wapea, the Cuban style basic, there are a number of different basic steps. I do it in a very simple way. It's the most basic way I've seen, where the leader goes out and together and comes forward and together. And when I come forward as a leader, because we're both stepping toward each other, our feet will hit. So instead of allowing that to happen, the leader steps at a diagonal. So we both go out and together and forward and together. Follower comes straight forward, leader comes at a diagonal. So this is my basic step. Now, when we do one-on-one LA style, what happens is when the leader rocks forward, the follower rocks back. Forward and together, back and together. Follower is back and together, forward and together. So if you are trying to dance with someone who does not have Cuban dance training, and you are a Cuban trained dancer, you simply want to start by stepping forward on your left instead of stepping back on your left. So you go forward and together and back and together. The follower will be accustomed to stepping back only if you step forward. Then when you want to do some moves, and that's not hard to get used to, it's just forward on the left and back on the right. When you want to do a move, back on the right, step back, do a double back rock, now back rock on the left. And you can go right into a move, because that's the position you're used to dancing in as a Cuban style dancer. So watch, I'm going to do 2 basics in LA style, and then I'm going to do a chufa doble. Watch how this will be done. So I think to myself, this follower has no training in Cuban, we're pretending. She's highly trained. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to go forward and together and back and together. Second basic. Back rock again. 1, 2, 3, and I go right into the move the way I'm used to. 1, 2, 3, now. This is the body of the move. In Rueda, we would both face the center and do a cross-body lead, or more or less face the center. The groups do this slightly differently. Because there is no center and I'm only dancing one-on-one, I'm going to adjust and come on 5, 6, 7 and face my follower. And I'm going to do a cross-body lead where we're not looking at the center because there is no center. since there's not other couples, and I do this kind of crossbody lead. Forward and together and crossbody lead, and I go back into the LA style. So watch the whole thing. LA basic, that's one time. Second LA basic. I back rock it here, I back rock again. 1, 2, 3. Push the lady back. 1, 2, 3. And I face my follower. The guy rocks in and crossbody lead, forward and back. So this is how a very easy way to do any move that a leader is accustomed to doing that starts from an open break. Kentucky and chufa doble, adios. A lot of basic moves start that way with an open break where you step back and you leave the follower back as well. One more example of that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Basic and basic. Second basic. And here we go, Kentucky. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now, I'm doing LA. I can't rock in because there's no center there. I have to remember that if I don't face my partner at junctures like this, in a one-on-one LA style dance, the partner will wonder what's the matter. So I face my partner here, and I rock in and do the crossbody lead this way. If you're dancing with a follower one-on-one who has Cuban training, you can do everything the way you're used to. There's no teaching that's necessary. You can start her like this, and you can do your Kentucky, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and there's no center, but it doesn't matter. I'm facing the imaginary center, and the follower is used to that. It's when the follower has no training in this that they don't have a concept of a center, and they would never understand why you're facing something away from them at the end of a significant portion of movement. So let's do one more. Let's do adios. 1, 2, this is my LA basic. Second basic. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now, instead of moving to my next partner, I stay with my partner, I rock into my partner, and crossbody lead, and I resume the LA basic. Okay, now, actually I want to do one more, because Uno has an interesting adjustment. Okay, LA basic once. LA basic twice. Now this is my open break, but I switched hands. Back rock. Now it's okay to do this when you're both back rocking. This is a position that will not seem too odd. Quick, quick, slow. But this will not seem normal to a follower. She will expect you to face her. And so then, when we do Uno, we do this, right? The way to do that and adjust it for one-on-one is a hair comb, sort of like that, and cross-body lead. So watch this. LA basic once. LA basic twice. Open break. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Up and over. 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. And back to my LA basic. So you just have to remember, you don't switch partners, and you look at your partner, you never face a center. 5, 6, 7, 8. One basic, LA style basic, second basic. And now I go right into it with an open break. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So notice I don't really care about the center of the circle. Normally I sort of have dancers back to the center, which would be the camera, but we're a diagonal, and that's fine. When I do my crossbody lead, however, the way that we are facing defines the line that the crossbody lead is on. So it's going to be this line. I rock in, and I bring her around on that line. So we stay on a diagonal. So whenever we're doing one-on-one dancing, utilizing Cuban moves, before the final crossbody lead, which by the way can also just be eliminated, it's not necessary. I square, as a leader, I square to wherever the follower is, and I make that position the definition of how we're doing the crossbody lead. Watch it again. 5, 6, 7, 8. One basic. Second basic. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now she's here and I squared to her. Now I did this completely differently than the last time. Now this is the definition of our line to do crossbody lead. So I'm going to rock into my follower and bring her around on that exact diagonal. And now we're facing this way, which is fine because we're not working with a group where we have to be in relation to them. A nice adaptation for Setenta is this. When we do a simple right turn in LA style, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. If I do not release the follower's left hand, she'll be hammerlocked as follows. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. This is the same position we wind up in after 8 beats of Setenta. And the way Setenta ends is back rock, drape over the lead, the guy rocks in, and crossbody lead. So watch the relationship. Setenta in a Rueda circle looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. You can see this is the exact same position we were in. Then we do an open break. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and I lock in and crossbody lead. So it's very, very similar. Watch again. Basic. I'll do 2 of them. Basic. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Open break. 5, 6, 7, and I can drape over myself. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and I follow my follower. We're converting to dancing one-on-one with a partner who has not done Cuban style. Is a little more difficult when the move starts with a tap on the 8th beat, because followers who are unaccustomed to Cuban style will not be used to that tap, and it'll be very hard to get them to tap. So you just eliminate the tap. It's inessential because you aren't taking a step, you're not shifting weight, you don't shift weight until the next beat 1. So LA basic, second time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to do Montaña, but I'm going to adapt it to the way I would lead it for a dancer with no background in Cuban salsa. I do my basic. This is the LA style basic, second basic. Here we go. Now I just stepped back. I rocked back on my right foot. I'm going to rock back and do an open break on my left. 1, 2, 3, and I go 5, 6, 7. Now I take my usual handhold and I just go into Montaña. So I don't really need to tap. I don't need the follower to tap. I'm just going to step on 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. And in Montaña, I would end like this, but that's looking at the center, which is odd. So I will look at my partner. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, basic, and basic. So the principles of using Rueda moves in one-on-one is that unless for some reason the motion demands it, you look at your partner. If you're not turning or something like that, you face your partner. There is no center, and you don't switch partners. And with those 2 adjustments, leaders can get accustomed to leading a follower who does not have Cuban salsa training. If a leader wants to do one-on-one with one dancer and the follower does have Cuban salsa training, you just lead her the way you normally would, except that no one's calling the moves. You've got to figure out what you want them to be. I just want to show visually what's involved in an inverted circle. So in a typical circle, if the camera is my center, the circle runs this way, and I'm leading. Leader always has their right shoulder to the center. And of course, when I dame, I'm going to my right, moving counterclockwise, or which is referred to as downstream, because it's the natural movement, flowing down, so to speak, for a Rueda circle. I move to my partner over here. Now, what happens when we have an inverted circle is that the lead and follow get flipped so that they're in each other's position relative to what's standard. And there are a whole lot of ways to do that. Sometimes I do it by a cross-body lead as follows. I'm doing my wapea, and I say cross-body lead. Here we go, and I rock 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. That's kind of like a one-on-one cross-body lead, the way it would be done in LA-style salsa. Now here I am in the position the follower used to be, and my follower is in the position I used to be. And now, because of that, we conceptualize the inverted circle as follows. The center is outside the center of couples. So all couples have their center outside of the circumference that they're formed around. My center is straight outside here, and if I were this couple over here, my center would be outside there, so that they align from the center that we're formed around to the center each couple imagines would be a bunch of spokes to a wheel. And now, instead of moving in the direction that is typical for Rueda, I'm going to be moving this way because my next partner, if my center is here, I do what I normally do in formation except that I'm inverted. So I go dame, I go forward and face the center like I normally would in a Rueda and keep turning to my partner who's here. So now my partner is a little further than 180 degrees around from where I was, and I've got to move to my partner here and cross-body lead, pick her up like this. There's another way to get into it is by doing a move that's called enchufla flip. It starts with enchufla and we switch positions. That's why it's called flip. So it looks like this. Enchufla flip. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And so now we've flipped positions, and now if dame is called, I'm going to turn and my partner is going to be here. My center is out this way, past the window. Dame. Forward and face center. Move to your partner. Cross body lead. Out and together. And forward and together. So I've got a new partner here. And my former partner has a new partner in front of her. So I wanted to videotape some kind of simulation of what the yanta structure looks like. So you have to use your imagination, because we've only got 2 people here, that this is a circle that goes like this, right? Every other couple is defined by counting off or one way or another. So for example, usually I would start by counting from the couple the caller is in. So if I were the caller, I'd be couple 1. Basically it would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, etc. And this really can only be done when the number of couples in the circle is even. So one couple should step out if need be, if there's not a number. What happens is that the ones, also called the cantantes, simply come across to the inside of the circumference and position themselves like this, right inside of another couple. Now the other couple isn't moving. So if the leader would be here, the follower is here, I'm here as the leader of the inside couple, and my follower is here. So we are positioned exactly like a two-couple Rueda. I'm the leader here, and the leader of this couple on the outside circle is here. We're diagonal from each other, as is always the case in a two-couple Rueda. And then we simply do moves that can be either in the two-couple Rueda, or if that's not the case, I do it within our circle. So there are some inner circle couples, and some outer circle couples. So when a call is made by the caller and they want us to do it in the two-couple Rueda, they say pequeña, which means small. So you're doing it in your small circle. If pequeña is not said, then everybody does it in their entire circle. And that means the outer people are normal. So if I'm the outer guy, I'm going to dame here to my next outer circle follower. But if I'm on the inner circle, we are inverted, so I'm going to face the outside and go and pick up a follower from the inner circle and bring the follower around on a cross-body lead. So move without pequeña is done within your circle, inner or outer. But a move that says, where they say pequeña, puente, for example, will be a combination of the inner and the outer circle that face each other. The crucial thing in this and many other structures is keeping a sense of the geometry of what's going on, so that you watch and are always spatially aware of everybody around you and where you're supposed to be. So for example, if I'm in the inside, I'm a leader, I'm a cantante, I go and get my next follower, cross-body lead with her, I've got to be aware of where the outer couple that should be paired with me in a pequeña move, where they're located, and line myself up so I'm diagonal from the other leader. So it requires that everybody help to get into the positions that are needed. And most of the structures have this quality that you have to be spatially aware, and sometimes you cut the angles on things a little differently than you otherwise would. You make certain adjustments that you need to in the geometry of the dames and the other moves, so that you're always aligned where you're supposed to be. Forward and together. Dos fly, bulla chavaria. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and forward and together. Back and together. Forward and together. Dos fly, bulla chavaria. 5, 6, 7. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and forward and together. We're all done. Forward and together. Fly perdido. Here we go. It's 1, 3, 5, 7, and out and together. Forward and together. Fly perdido. Here we go. It's 1, 3, 5, 7, and out and together. Forward and together. Pelota con uno and pelota con tres are sometimes used to get back on dancing on beat 1 if you happened for some reason to be dancing on 5. This pelota con uno. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's our chufla. Now we're only going to do one stomp and one clap, which is on 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we move to our new partner. So we're not doing a full 8 beats, which is the reason why this flips you to a beat 5. So I go 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and now if I started on 1, I'm now rocking out on 5. So it flips you from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1. So when we do either pelota con uno or pelota con tres, the total number of beats in the move is not divisible by 8. So if you start the move on 1, then you're going to be ready to start the next move after it on 5. Or if you started this move on 5, you'll be starting the next move after it on 1. And this is used a lot of times to adjust so that you can get back on 1 if a move puts you dancing on 5, or sometimes the music flips and it changes, and without any error or any move that did that, you wind up dancing on 5. And some people don't like the way that feels, so they call a move that will put them dancing on the other beat. So this will switch you from dancing on 1 to 5 or 5 to 1. So watch why this works that way. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Pelota con uno. Here we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's our 8 beats of the chufla. Now, the dame, which ends the move, is also 8 beats. But the pelota con uno action is only 4 beats. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to move to my next partner on 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to crossbody lead on 1, 2, 3. And now I'm starting my next basic pattern on 5. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Because the total number of beats in that move was divisible by 4, but not by 8. So watch this done to speed. 5, 6, 7, 8. Out and together, forward and together. Pelota con uno. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Move to my partner, cross body lead, and now I'm stepping out on 5. Same thing happens, pelota con tres, which is 3 stomps and 3 claps. 5, 6, 7, 8. Pelota con tres. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's stomp, 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 clap, 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 and move to my partner, cross body lead, and now I'm rocking out on 5.
I want to make a point about what's necessary when a dame trace is done. If I'm dancing with a partner here, and these items on the floor are imaginary followers, if I'm leading and I'm going to be going to my dame trace partner, I count down 1, 2, 3. The third follower, really on the opposite side of the circle, is the one that I pick up. So you're not supposed to go straight to the partner you're going toward, because if you do, and everybody else does that, the other leaders, people are going to slam into each other in the center. So what's always expected is that you'll trace an arc just inside the circumference of the circle. So quick, quick, slow, sort of like that. And you're coming along the circumference, and that way nobody hits anybody else. I want to go over the footwork for doing the move ocho. If I'm leading, and ocho is called, and these items on the floor represent the location of followers, I start by going in front of the first follower, and then I come to the back of that follower and go around behind the one after that. And then I trace the opposite way around. I come around and go behind the first follower and come back to exactly where I started. This is a figure 8, but it's arced. So if I were doing a figure 8 on a straight line, it would look like this. I'd go this way, and then all the way around, and then this way, and come back to where I started. That would trace an 8 on the floor. But what happens here is, if you think of the 8 starting in this direction, sort of behind me, the line that the 8 is on curves. And that often causes confusion as people try and picture the geometry of it. So you have to think of essentially drawing an 8, but letting the line that the 8 is lying on arc a little bit because of the arc of the circle. The Rueda book includes
some examples of moves that have arm flings. So what I often see is that people just raise the arm as though it had no relationship to the way it was tossed. Both leader and follower need to be mindful of this. The leader wants to fling the way that that leader wants the arm to be moved. This will be a circular fling, and this would be just vertical. But another thing that can be done for styling that's really nice is that in addition to bearing in mind doing what is natural, moving with the momentum of the way that the arm was flung, when it then comes down, you can make interesting patterns. For example, you could make it look like a leaf that's falling, that's kind of fluttering in the wind. Or I've seen this done. No, 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 no. Like that. It looks like you're saying no. So that adds a nice styling and also a bit of humor into a dance. I want to show a styling for the followers on Dame con los manos. So if I were a follower, on beat 1 I go right, left, right with the back rock, and then I come around in front of my leader to the leader's left side, 5, 6, 7, and I do the same thing again as I circle around the various leaders in the circle until a different move is called. Something that looks very nice that could be done by the follower instead would be this. 1, 2, 3, slide, 5, 6, 7. So I've come around one leader. Again, that's right, left, right, slide, and I slide, I'm kind of turning my body a little bit to the left, and then I come out more or less in a straight line back to the circumference, and this is on 5, 6, 7 with a pivot on 6. 5, 6 with a pivot, 7, etc. So when you do a typical Dame con los manos, leader rock in 1, 2, 3, and do a lead, a crossbody lead on 5, 6, 7. This has to be adjusted. You've got to let go as a leader so that the follower has the liberty to do this, to slide in and then come around. And a further embellishment on that is to bring the right arm up. So followers could go 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. So I want to illustrate what a grapevine looks like. If I were going in this direction to my left, starting with my right foot, I'd say in front to the side, in back to the side, in front to the side, in back to the side. Going in the other direction, same concept, in front to the side, in back to the side, in front to the side, in back. In the grapevine move, what is happening is that the followers come in and they take that straight line and they arc it because the circle arcs. It's circular, it's not straight. So just imagine the line bending. Going in this direction, it's right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then we tap and go back the other way. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and we tap. Notice that my body turns a little with that. Boom, and boom, and boom, and boom. Step, 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 tap. That's a very natural amount of turn. If you try and do a grapevine without that, you're going to get this. If I'm keeping my body straight without letting it pivot slightly as I go along, it also looks a lot more graceful that way, I think. Now in the grapevine move, the followers come into a smaller circle in the center, and they grapevine 8 beats. First, exactly the way I showed it, going to the left, and then they come back 8 beats going to the right. Leaders step a little outside the Rueda circumference, so leaders are going in the opposite direction with a short grapevine. They're going Left, right, tap. Right, tap. Left, right, tap. And then they come, the last 4 beats, they come next to the follower to be ready to pick her up. I wanted to illustrate a few of these hand signals. So dame, I do dame like this. It's kind of big and broad, but I see a lot of people just do this. They just let the fingers do the waving. And dame dos would be the dame motion, and then a signal for 2. Dame dos. This is enchufla. This is enchufa doble. Notice my index finger and my pinky are both the ones that are raised. Adios, like saying goodbye. Adios con la hermana is adios con la hermana. You just bring a hand sort of mid-chest. Adios con la hermana. So 70 means 70 in Spanish, and the hand signal is 70. 70. This is uno. Coca-Cola, as though you're drinking a Coca-Cola. And dedo is a fist with 1 finger down. I do it like this, but I've seen it done with other fingers pointing down. Hand signals do vary from group to group and to some extent from location to location. So these are the ways that I do hand signals, but they can vary. I want to show how a shine is done, embedded into a move. When a break is being made in a move at a certain point to do a shine, and I'm going to assume that the leader and follower are doing the identical shine, generally this will be done on the leader's footwork. So the left will be the first step. The leader So I'm going to do the basic footwork for the first 8 beats of Vacila and then start a shine that'll start with a basic step. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now I'm ready to step on my left through my basic on the left foot, same as the leaders will be doing. So an extra step on beat 8 for followers as they enter the shine. And then to end the shine and get back on standard salsa footwork, the opposite is done. And instead of stepping on beat 7, I have the followers tap on beat 7, and then they're ready to step on beat 1 on their right foot. So if I were following, what I would do is, for the Vacila, right, and left, right. So I'm stepping on 8. Then I do my basic, and then I do my Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie, and this is beat 7, so I'm just going to tap, and then I'm free to step on the right again for my back rock on beat 1, resuming the move. Leaders will just do what they would normally. If I were leading, Vacila, and then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I don't take any extra steps. I do my basic, I do my Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, and then I rock into the follower and cross body lead. Leaders have no adjustment. The followers are doing the adjustment. 1, 2, and 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, and 3. So what I'm doing is I'm saying 1, instead of going 1, 2, 3, and then 5, 6, 7, I'm doing 1 and 2 the same way. 1, 2, but I do my third step on beat 2.5, the second half of beat 2, and then on beat 3 I just slide my toe out at a 45-degree angle, and then I resume 5, 6, 7. Leader will do the opposite feet, same principle. The leader is doing a basic 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Here's the flare. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. Now, in merengue, we step on every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go forward with that, or you can go back with it. Basically, you can do whatever you want. You can step in place while turning the leg, but you're stepping on every beat. It's very much like walking. Cha-cha is very similar to salsa, but it's to very much slowed down music. So instead of quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, it's going to be quick, quick, slow, oh, quick, quick, slow, oh. So we take 3 steps, which is 3 weight changes in the course of 2 beats. So it's, if I were to count the beats, where and reflects the second half of a beat, I would go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you go to a ballroom studio, they will tell you to start this pattern on beat 2. So it would look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. But that's still step, step, and cha-cha-cha, step, step, and cha-cha-cha. The only difference is that I'm taking the first quick or the first step on beat 2 if I do it the ballroom way, and I take the first quick or first step on beat 1 if I'm doing it the Latin club dance way. I would say in a typical Latin club, about half of the dancers will do this on 1 and half of the dancers will do it on 2, approximately. I like the feeling of doing cha-cha on 2, but as a follower, I just follow however the leader leads me. And both of these are perfectly okay ways to do cha-cha at a club. The rhythm for bachata is step, 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 and then we tap, which means I touch the floor but don't put weight. And I always take a step on the same foot I tapped onto after the beat of a tap. So I'm going to go step, 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 tap, step, 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 tap. That's going to be left, tap right, right, tap left. In the Rueda book, there's mention in a number of places of dancing on 1 and on 2. And I want to just show what the on 2 looks like. So, first of all, the concept of on 1 or on 2 is that you change direction on beat 1 or on beat 2. If you change direction on 1, you're going to change it again on beat 5. If you change direction on beat 2, you'll change the direction again on beat 6. So 1 is just what we're used to for doing the LA style and the casino style. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Now, when we're dancing on 2, you can do the following pattern, which is actually done in the ballroom dance, mambo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I stepped on beats 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8, and I changed direction on beats 2 and 6. The more common way, however, of dancing on 2, referred to as New York style, is to step on 1, 2, 3, but change direction on 2 and 6. And that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you see something like that where the steps are 1, 2, 3, but the direction's changing on 2 and 6, that's what's commonly referred to when people talk about dancing on 2. If you have not done a lot of dancing, this may seem odd to you, like what is the big deal about this? It seems like such a small difference. But the feeling of stepping and changing direction on a different beat can make the dance feel fairly different. And even though you're still taking 3 steps in every 4 beats, There can be some differences in the moves that are done and the way that they're done, dancing on one and on two. So I wanted to illustrate hand positions. When I was taking classes, teachers used to call this piano hands, because it looks a little bit like the way you would play piano. And they used to call this dead fish hands because it kind of looks like, it doesn't look very alive. So for example, look at the difference between doing basic with hands in what I call neutral, which is about waist level roughly, waist to mid-chest level with some natural movement. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's an enormous difference in what that looks like. So this looks much more alive, even if nothing fancy is being done, but this kind of looks odd and like something's missing. But unless you're doing a movement specifically designed to have a roll, the rule of thumb is to keep this straight, not to let, they refer to this as a broken wrist. And so you don't want to let hands fall. You want it, whatever you do, you typically keep the wrist unbroken. So I want to illustrate what a chest pop is. It's up, up. So if I do it sideways, I'm rounding forward and then pulling my shoulders back so that the chest kind of pops out. And a shimmy, of course, looks like this. It's shoulders going back and forth. If you're not familiar with how to shimmy, I'll tell you a good way to learn it. Sit in a car, put your hands on the steering wheel, and move your shoulders each way. You want to make sure you're not moving your seat. You're sitting still in the seat, but just the shoulders are moving. And you do that slowly and gradually increase the speed. It's really a study in muscle isolation. You're trying to move only the shoulders and not the rest of your body. So what makes a shimmy cool is the fact that you're isolating muscles to do it. Cuban motion is the hip sway that accompanies steps in all the Latin dances. There's just a natural swaying of the hips. The best thing to do is not really try to get the hip sway. It does tend to occur naturally to some degree. What creates the sway is stepping onto a bent leg, which if you kind of lean onto the other hip and the other hip goes out, when you straighten, they're even, and then if you switch and step, make the other leg bent, the other hip goes out. And this is the action that causes Cuban motion. So it's not done by pushing the hip out, which is, if someone's not experienced, that tends to be the way they think of it, because they see the hip going out, so they push the hip out. But the action is really the opposite of that. So I want to talk a little bit about the clave rhythm, C-L-A-V-E. A clave is a very simple percussion instrument that is quite an important instrument in a Latin band, and it's basically made up of 2 sticks of wood that hit each other and making a sound. This is a clave that I bought in Cuba. Now, there's a lot of different shapes and kinds of claves. This one, this is beautiful, and there's a couple of holes here to make a certain kind of sound, and this is just a plain stick, essentially. When we mark the clave rhythm, there are 2 ways to do it. They're referred to as the 3-2 clave or the 2-3 clave. Salsa music is written in phrases of 8 beats, and each 8 beats is comprised of 2 musical measures, which, if you look at music, on those lines that go across, the vertical lines mark between 2 vertical lines next to each other. That space is called a measure of music. And the notes and the different things that are there, the rests, etc., indicate what's being done musically in that 4 beats. So in the 3-2 clave, those 2 measures would sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm hitting that on 1, 2.5, and 4, which comes close to dividing the first 4 beats of the 8-beat phrase into even thirds. They're not quite even, but they're very close. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and then we hit on 6 and 7. 5, 6, 7. Listen again. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 2-3 clave reverses the order of the measures that have 2 beats and the measure that has 3 beats. And that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. There's a move in the book called piloto con clave. And if I were leading it, I would do the following. Piloto con clave. Here we go. Starts with enchufla. Quick, quick, slow. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move to my partner and cross body. Lead, out, and in. So it's just literally standing still and clapping the clave rhythm is just embedded into the step.